So, working with charts is something that a chart is something that can be used to be a visual representation of the data to an audience to help them better understand your data. So, you're going to create 3 different charts. You may open up if you want the PDF and follow along in this video. Maybe it will be more helpful to you. Um, the beginning of this handout just talks to you about creating a chart and then describes the different types of charts that we have in Excel. It also talks about how to size and move a chart. So I have given you in the assignment link in MyTech a file called Chart Activities. I would like you to do a file and then make sure that you save this file. You want to save it as chart activities with your initials so that it is saved to your computer, and then you will be able to upload this at the end when you're finished with the assignment. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that with my initials on. You can see up in the title bar that I did that. Okay, so I have 3 different sheet tabs. We're going to do 3 quick charts. So the first chart that you're going to do, first of all, when you're viewing your data, remember you should always go to the header and then double click a column boundary to adjust all of the columns so we can fully see the data, because right now we can see that the word west and east is kind of cut off. So I'll double click a boundary just so that I'm able to see that data. Actually, I think I'm going to drag it out a little bit so that it is just a little clearer. There. Okay, that looks a little bit better. All right, so then let's just say that I select the data. Notice I'm selecting the labels, the regions, as well as the quarters because I want that information labeled in my chart. Again, if you are following along on the PDF, I'll pull this up one time and then I'm just going to kind of go through it. And you can go through and do and stop and start the video as much as you need to as we're working through them. So this is our source data. Whatever we select is going to show up in the chart. You have in a column chart, you have a vertical axis, which is called the x-axis. Then you have your horizontal, which is called the y-axis. So quarters would be the horizontal and the regions would be the vertical. And then we have the legend, which is the description at the bottom. You can also see what's in your chart. So they're just showing you quickly how you can go through, select your data. If you go to your Insert tab, you have the option of charts. It says click on recommended and you can let Excel choose for you. Sometimes your directions will ask you to choose a specific chart. So in this case, I could just use the recommended and click on that and choose OK. And then it puts that chart in my table. They just want to show you how you can easily get the 4-headed move handle and be able to move a chart within your spreadsheet. You can resize a chart as well. If you grab a sizing handle, you can just left click and drag to be able to resize that. So they're just showing you, if you hold down the shift key, then you're making sure that you keep the horizontal and vertical the same. The other thing that you can do is if it says it needs to be a 5-inch height or a 5-inch width, you can click on the Format tab. If you're clicked off of the chart, you don't get those tabs. If you click on the chart, you see the chart design where you can change your elements, you can change the layout, you can change the colors, you can change the chart styles, you can change the chart type, and you can move it to a different sheet. Under Format, you can do any of the formatting things with text. Here I could change the width if I wanted my chart to be exactly 5. Then I could just click the up arrow and it's exactly 5 inches. So wanted to show you that. So if we look at Activity 1A on your handout, it says that we're going to select A1 through E4. So that's exactly what we've done to create this chart. We let Excel create the chart for us. We went to the Insert tab. We went to Recommended, and then it picked our recommended chart for us. And we just simply clicked OK. So we increased the size of the chart by holding down that shift key and then dragging out that sizing handle to keep the height and the width proportional. And it says to drag it out to about a half an inch. I just went in and set our formatting for our chart to 5 and let me just decrease this to 3. So just to see how, so it's a 3x5 chart. So I made a little adjustment to the instruction. On step 5, it says that we want to be able to move the chart containing the data. So we're going to go ahead and we want to move it to row 6. So I'm just going to get the sizing handle and left click and drag and move it over here to row 6. So now I've moved it. Now we're going to make some quick changes to the data. I'm going to make cell B2 active. So I'm going to double click in there so that I can type in my change. I'm just going to highlight that and I'm going to type in 290,450 and then I can click off, or I could press enter and you can see it will automatically format that cell. I'm going to go to cell. I'm sorry, I skipped a cell. Let me undo that. My apologies. I'm supposed to be adding data. A5, double click in that cell. Oh, I was too supposed to change that. I'll get it right sooner or later. I changed it to the wrong number though. I'm supposed to change it to 421,720. See, this is just like if you were in class. Then go to cell D2. So then we're under the third quarter, D2. We're going to change that number to 397,460. Okay, now we're going to go down to row 5, column A. We're going to type southeast, press tab. You're going to type in 290,450, press tab. You're going to type in 320,765, press tab. You're going to type in 270,450, press tab. And you're going to type in 300,455 and press tab. So now you've added more data to the chart. So we want to be able to see that data in the chart. I'm just going to go ahead and click in. It says click in a blank area of the chart. So now my chart's selected, but notice that southeast is not part of that. So all I should have to do is go ahead and grab this little sizing handle in the corner. See how I got the double-headed arrow? And just drag that down to include that data. And notice it includes it in the chart. So all I did was included E5 in my chart. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and this is activity 1B. I need to go to the chart elements. So I want to insert and remove chart elements by going through the steps that they give me. Okay, so let me move this chart down just one row. Okay, so you'll notice over here that if I hover over the plus sign, it says chart elements. I can add or remove. I can change chart styles. I can add chart filters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the chart elements button, and then you're going to see a side menu that pops out. You want to click on chart title, and that will remove the chart title from the chart. Then you're going to click on data table. That adds the table to the bottom of the chart. Then it says hover the mouse pointer over grid lines, and then you're going to see that you get an arrow. And so you can click on that little arrow, and then you want to have primary, major, vertical. So right below primary, major, horizontal, I'm going to add the primary, major, vertical. Then I want you to go back. You can click on the arrow to collapse that. Go to legend and click on the arrow. And we want to make sure that we remove the check mark actually from the legend. So now we do not have a legend on our chart. Step 3 says we're going to apply a different chart style, excuse me. And so I'm going to click off of chart elements, click on my chart, and then I have chart styles. So I can click on my chart styles button. Let me just go back to chart. Notice how I just want to have the chart selected. So I clicked on chart styles, and I want to use style 3. So there's style 1, style 2, style 3. So go ahead and click on style 3. I only want to display the first and second quarters. So now I could click off of that, go back to just my chart and click on my filters. And then from chart filters, I just want to display the first and second quarter. So I'm going to uncheck the third and the fourth and then click apply. And so now I am only seeing the first and second quarters. And the step where it talks to you about printing a chart, you're not going to worry about printing a chart. So there's really nothing more to do for this particular one. All you have to do is make sure that you've saved the sheet tab, because we want these all to be in the same grouping.